shot. That's error. No, it's not Earhart. That's Schendel. Excuse me. On the shot, and it's going to be whoever can get more fast break points as Skyline goes on a fast break. And Schendel's blocked by Purcell. And then that is Schendel who gets it back and makes the layup. And Coach Pfeiffer will call timeout. We're going to stay right here.
Skyline on top 22-15. And I believe that was actually Kylie Earhart who scored on Skyline's most previous possession. Anna Hefner's going to check in for Erie. And, you know, we wanted to talk about what's at stake here for both teams. Erie, 3-11, but they're still in the playoff race. As you talked about before, due to the RPI, Erie's played one of the toughest schedules in 4A. So with 11 losses, they are still very much in the playoff race and actually projected in the playoffs right now.
That's right. If the season ended today, Erie would actually make the playoffs with an RPI of 39th out of 66 overall. 4A basketball playoffs are 48 teams, and the top 48 in RPI all will make the playoffs, as well as if there are any conference winners that are not top 48 in RPI, they will also make the playoffs, and then the lowest teams will be dropped out. But this game is vital for Erie and Skyline. Both teams are in that bubble area of the RPI where they need to win some games, and Erie will need to sweep Skyline to get in the playoffs. They're down by 7 right now, so we'll see how that goes. And they'd also need to steal at least 2 more games against maybe Meade or Frederick. And that's Hallie Hoback with an and one.
Yeah, the first RPI of the season coming out just a couple days ago. Hoback at the line, Erie down by 5. Can't hit the and one. Skyline on the move. Ali McCrolla. Now Maddie Pitts. This one's a lofty pass intercepted by Hunter. Here's a long jumper by Phillips, no good. Phillips rolls it out to Purcell, lobs it inside to Hoback, finds an open Hunter for a long 2 off the front of the iron. Rebounded by Hoback, kicked out to Purcell. Here's Hefner, every Tiger getting a touch as Hefner knocks down the jumper. 22-19 with 6 minutes to go here in the third. You talk about the Tri-Valley being so good. Only 2 teams in the league without a winning record right now in the Tri-Valley. And those 2 teams are on the court here tonight, Skyline and Erie. Skyline coming in at 5-7, 1-4 in conference. Erie at 3-11, 0-5 in conference. This would be a big win if Erie were to pull it off. They're on a 7-game losing streak, and this would break that really nicely.
It would, and it'd also be a good morale win for Erie. They need it. They haven't won since before Christmas, 10 days before Christmas to be exact, against actually a good Centaurus team. They're going to call a foul on Earhart for a push. And for both teams, they need this win to keep them in the playoff hunt. A loss would deal severe blows, especially to Erie's playoff hopes.
Purcell fires a 3. It's no good. Rebounded by Phillips. And a jump ball. And that'll go to Skyline. The current standings in the Tri-Valley, Holy Family on top. I believe they're ranked number 4 in the state right now. They're 12-2, undefeated in league. The only Tri-Valley team undefeated in conference. Then it goes Meade, who's 10-3, 4-1 in conference. Berthoud also 4-1 in conference at 13-1. Windsor 8-4, 3-1 in conference. Roosevelt 7-6, 1-3 in conference. The Skyline team 5-7, as we said, 1-4 in conference. Frederick, who Erie played just a few days ago, 7-6, 1-4 in conference. And then, of course, Erie at the very bottom, 3-11, and has not won a conference game. Purcell's pass tipped away by Schendel. She gets it to Powers. McCrolla. Handoff to Powers. Looking inside for Earhart. And Hunter blocks it away. Picked up by Hoback. Purcell dribbles up court. Here's Dwinell out to Hunter. Hoback, that's going to be a long two, and she hits it. Foot was on the line. And that's going to make it a 1-point game. And the net's kind of stuck up there. The referees are going to fix that. Kylie Harrell checks back into the game for the Tigers. She comes in for Autumn Purcell.
And if that had been a three, that would have been Hoback's first three-point attempt all year. Just an interesting little stat nugget there for you all.
Skyline loses it on a bad pass. It's picked up by Hoback. Harrell moves with her right hand up court. Steps back, now Dwinell. Moving with her left hand, here's Hoback, now to Hefner. Back to Hoback on the left wing. Cross court to Harrell, fires a jumper, blocked by Earhart. She's a really great defender. Earhart is pretty tall, one of the taller players on the court, but she moves around really well. She extended out towards the three-point line, which is a pretty impressive skill to have. A lot of bigs don't like to extend out and play defense towards the three-point line. It makes them vulnerable. A lot of guards can just drive right past them as Harrell gives Erie the lead back. It looked for a second like Skyline was going to pull away, but now Erie comes back and goes on a run and takes a lead.
And that's an 8-0 run in about 2.5 minutes. You look at the clock at 6 minutes and Erie's down by 7, then suddenly you look up 2 minutes later and voila, they're up by 1. And
Caitlin Patterson re-enters the game for Hoback. We talked about since her return, Patterson has led the team in scoring.
She has led the team in scoring. She's averaging 13 points a game in 6 games this year. She played the Niwot game and one other game, and then she hurt her right knee, and she didn't play with the exception of 2 minutes here and there when they were trying to get her back in. She ended up re-injuring her knee and not playing for a little while until the Frederick game. But she's played every game since. She's wearing a knee brace. We don't know if you can see that, as it is the same color black as her tights, as Schendel misses a shot. But it is definitely there. And we are aware that we had some streaming issues earlier, but it does appear that we are live now. So there you go.
Our apologies for that. We've got a student-run broadcast as McCrolla misses the layup. Student-run broadcast tonight. As we have myself, Grayson Blaylock, next to me. TJ Barksdale running the camera, Kyle Cooper producing tonight. Big thank you to them for all the help getting the stream back up on air, or on air for the first time. Sammy Irby enters the game for Hunter. Erie's got a couple freshmen and sophomores that are really impressive, and they'll be really good in the future.
You're right, they will, and I believe we've mentioned this before on the broadcast, but they're good. But the 8th grade girls players are very good that are coming into Erie, and under Coach Pfeiffer, who was an excellent player herself, played at Arkansas and coached at Washington before coming to Erie for a head coaching position. She knows her way around basketball, and she's going to have a lot of future success with some very talented classes coming up.
The freshman Pitts back in for Skyline. She enters the game for Schendel. Again, we've talked about this is a must-win game for Erie as Hefner extends the lead to 2. If they can win this and then beat Skyline on the road, their chances increase by that much more. Ball's loose on the ground. Tied up jump ball. Erie gets the possession off the jump ball. Patterson inside, gets it to Irby, fires the jumper. Erie extends their lead to 4. It's 26-22 with 2:30 to play in the third quarter. McCrolla inside to Powers. No good off the backboard, off of Erie. It was off of Irby.
Yep, she tried to save it, but she just couldn't. Anna Hefner and one of Skyline's players got tangled up trying to get the ball. And Irby couldn't save it. Skyline ball.
Emmanuel to inbound. McCrolla inside. There's Earhart. Couldn't get it to fall. Skyline's leading scorer, Kylie Earhart. Here's Patterson. Handoff to Harrell. Now Dwinell gets it back to Patterson. Top of the key for Irby. Throws it up and is fouled. A late foul call, but it was there. So Irby goes to the line to shoot 2.
And this is maybe Erie's best third quarter that I've seen them play all year. Obviously, they gave up 4 points to Skyline to start the quarter, but since then, without scoring, they've gone on now a 12-0 run. It was 22-15 with about 6 minutes left. And now Erie's up by 5, and Sam Irby looks to extend the lead. She doesn't, but Ann Hefner gets the rebound, and she's fouled. And now she'll go to the line. The 2 freshmen for Erie right there. Sammy Irby and Anna Hefner.
Skyline calls timeout. Erie on top at home, 27-22. We're going to stay right here through the third quarter. 1:42 to go in the third. Erie clinging to a 5-point lead. Skyline has not scored for a couple minutes. Erie still extending that run.
And if I'm Skyline, I've got to make some kind of shot, whether it be a layup or a jumper, wherever you can get it. They need it right now. Erie has gone on their best run all season, and they need to keep it up and also keep up this defense that they've been playing. Defense can be a little bit looked over at times, but the defense they've played in the last few minutes has been very good. They've gotten a couple steals, a couple blocks, and that has helped them exponentially.
Erie's run currently at 12-0 since Skyline extended their lead to 22-15. So Erie on a big run here. This would be their first win of the new year. Anna Hefner at the line for the Tigers. Hefner can't hit her first, but we talk about Anna Hefner, only a freshman, one of Erie's key bench players this year. She's made a big impact, especially in size. Hefner can't hit either free throw, so Skyline retains possession. Emmanuel behind the backup court, past Hoback. Towards the left wing, tried to feed it inside, and a foul's going to be called on Sammy Irby.
So while Skyline is inbounding, we're going to give you some score updates from around Tri-Valley. Holy Family at the end of 3 is leading Meade 34-20. Frederick is leading Roosevelt 26-27 at the half. That score came in 15 minutes ago. So a little bit later, but that's the newest score we have for that game. And no score that we can find for the Windsor-Berthoud game, also going on tonight.
27-24 as Skyline scored a bucket. Here's McCrolla, no good. Erie gets possession back. Irby with the rebound. Less than a minute to play here in the third. Patterson dribbles up court. Gets it to Purcell. Now Hoback. Purcell and Hoback almost ran into each other a couple times there. Patterson fires a three, and Caitlin Patterson knocks it down. 30-24. Inside for Skyline, no good. That was Maddie Pitts, and Erie gets the ball back. The run currently at 15-2. Patterson, a heat check three. Oh my goodness, Caitlin Patterson's on fire here late in the third. And after three here in Erie, Erie has extended their lead. They're on an 18-2 run, up 33-24 on Skyline.
Chiropractors don't treat your symptoms. We treat the cause of your symptoms. On your first visit, we'll review your medical history and examine your vital signs, posture, strength, and reflexes. We'll also perform tests which are designed to give us insight into what may be causing your problem. The doctors at Great Day Chiropractic don't just treat adults. We also treat children of all ages. We're located in historic Old Town Erie at 515 Briggs Street. We're open 5 days a week from Monday through Friday and the second and fourth Saturdays of each month.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
And welcome back in here on the Erie Tiger Network. Alex Ailey here with Grayson Blaylock by my side. Erie has opened up a 33-24 lead. They're on an 18-2 run here. Midway through the third quarter, Skyline had extended their lead to 7. Erie came back and went on a big run. Now lead by 9. That one's tipped away by Irby. So now Erie's got to cling to this lead. Shot from Pitts on the way, no good. Ball tipped around. It's picked up by Hoback. 2-on-1, Hoback and Phillips. Hoback puts it up herself. It's no good. Phillips grabs the rebound, no good. And that one's out of bounds. It'll go back to Skyline. Again, if you haven't already, make sure to like this video, show your support. Subscribe to the Erie Tiger Network if you are not already. And also follow us on Twitter at Erie TigerNet. .7:31 to play in the game here. Erie's still on top by 9. Skyline to inbound. It's into Earhart. The press works. Purcell puts it up. It's no good. And Purcell, a frustration foul there.
That will just let Skyline, I almost said Frederick, I don't know why, but it will let Skyline re-inbound the ball here, as neither team is in the bonus yet.
Earhart catches the inbound. Now a pass goes out of bounds. Schendel's pass a little too far ahead of Maddie Pitts. So Erie gets the ball back. The press has been working wonders tonight for the Tigers. Skyline's been running one too. You couldn't say it's been as effective, but they've gotten some turnovers off of it. Neither team has done a great job tonight capitalizing off of the turnovers they've gotten. Again, a very defense-oriented game. Hoback, outlet to Purcell. Now Phillips drives in, takes the shot from mid-range and knocks it home. Erie on a 20-2 run. That pass errant, picked up by Purcell. So Erie on the move again. Ahead to Hefner, who couldn't handle it.
And they almost ran into the yearbook photographer there, but they didn't. And it's Skyline ball out of bounds.
Earhart gets the inbound. Now McCrolla dribbles with her left hand across the timeline. Inside the paint, she throws one up, and she's fouled, so McCrolla will go to the line for two. The sophomore for the Falcons. Patterson set to re-enter the game. McCrolla knocks down both for Skyline. The lead back down to 9. That pass tipped up, but Patterson's got it. Hands on the ball, and timeout called by Coach Pfeiffer and Erie. 35-26, 6:31 to play in the fourth quarter. We'll take a short break here. And welcome back in here on the Erie Tiger Network. Erie holding on to a 9-point lead against Skyline. Phillips to inbound. She gets it to Patterson. Now Hefner on the wing. Patterson drives, kicks it out to Phillips. Now Hunter gets a touch. Hunter takes the long jumper and it goes in. 37-26. Emmanuel inside to Earhart. I'll tell you what, Anna Hefner and Michaela Green have bottled up Kylie Earhart very well tonight.
You're right, they have, and a big thing is that they've doubled teams here. They know that she's Skyline's best scorer in the paint, and they've not allowed her to get going.
Hunter tried a bounce pass, but Skyline was there to intercept it. A little confusion now. Emmanuel up ahead. This is Powers inside, pulls one up, no good. Another shot, no good. And now Earhart gets the rebound. 4 straight shots, no good, missed in the same spot, and finally Erie gets a rebound. Patterson dribbling up court, swerving across the half-court line. Inside, takes it herself, coast to coast, Caitlin Patterson, 39-26. Patterson, good defense. Schendel almost lost it, and this time Earhart does. Erie gets the ball back as they extend their lead. Kylie Harrell and Elena Dwinell check into the game for the Tigers in place of Caitlin Patterson and Jade Phillips. Five minutes to play here in the ball game. Erie on top by 13. Purcell kicks it to Hefner. Thought about a long jumper. Now back out to Dwinell. Harrell controls it on the left wing. Cross court to Purcell, who slows things down. Purcell drives in. Now Hunter at the top of the key finds Dwinell. Dwinell finds Hefner on the wing. Hefner drives baseline, kicks it out to Hunter. Mid-range jumper no good, and a foul call. They're going to get Hunter over the back. And that puts Skyline in the bonus. That's Katie Hunter's second foul. Sammy Irby enters the game for Hunter. Shayla Powers at the line. She can't hit the front end of the 1-and-1. Irby collects the rebound. Here's Dwinell, almost lost her footing. Erie swings it around the outside, and Purcell's pass soars over the head of Irby and out of bounds. So Skyline retains possession.
Irby and Hefner were both in that area, and I think both of them thought the pass was for each other, and they kind of looked at each other as the pass went out of bounds. 4.5 minutes left in the game. Erie up by 13.
Schendel working on Harrell. Now McCrolla. Powers. McCrolla drives inside with her left hand, throws one up off the backboard and in for Allie McCrolla. 39-28, under 4 minutes to play in the game. And if I were Coach Pfeiffer, I'd slow things down big time here. Saw him slow things down against Frederick, and it came back and worked against him as Harrell puts in the reverse layup. And Erie ended up losing that game. They were kind of playing, they were slowing down their offense, trying to work clock, and Frederick got a steal. And Erie really never got the lead back. Purcell drives up court, kicks it out to Dwinell. Thought about a jumper, and now Hefner. And now they're going to hold it.
And I agree with you and Coach Pfeiffer completely. I was about to actually mention the Frederick game before you got to it. But it did come back to bite them. But the circumstances are a lot different as Skyline gets a steal from Purcell. Right now, Erie's up 13. And with 2:50 left. In the other game, they were up 40-37 with 3 minutes left. And they wasted about a minute of clock. And then Miley Tarnowski got a steal and a layup for Frederick. And then Dufour hit a three. And the Tigers only scored one more time. They never got the lead back. But with the difference in circumstances is Jade Phillips is going to be called for a foul.
Kind of extended that arm. Kind of gave a little shove to Emmanuel.
But with your differences in circumstances, obviously, this is a much better place to slow the game down. Now, Katie Hunter set to check in for Erie. And she'll check in for Dwinell.
.248 to go, Erie up by 13. Skyline misses the free throw. They get the rebound. Not sure if that was a shot or a pass by Emmanuel inside, but it was tipped away, and the Tigers get the ball back. And now a steal from McCrolla. She's all alone. Patterson playing catch up, and McCrolla lays it up and in.
Skyline will take a full timeout here, so we will take a short break here on the Erie Tigers.
Hi, I'm Maya Michelson, and you're watching Erie Tiger Network.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
Here in the Erie Tiger Network, Alex Ailey joined by Grayson Blaylock today. This Friday evening where Erie has Skyline in a doubleheader. Immediately following this game, we'll see the boys team take on Skyline. Skyline's got to run a press now, 2:20 to go in the game. Again, Skyline needs a steal. Fouling won't really help. It'll put the Tigers at the line. Erie already wasted 30 seconds of clock this possession. Phillips drives in, gets it to Irby. Now out to Harrell. Harrell trapped in the corner. And a timeout called by Coach Pfeiffer. 1:46 to go. We'll stay right here. And I guess we'll kind of preview the boys game now. Grayson, you know, Jeffrey Farino, obviously a really special player. Arguably the best basketball player to come out of Erie since Kyle Leahy just 3 or 4 years ago. What do you think he has to do to get going early tonight?
I think he needs to make his outside shots. That's one area where he's kind of struggled this year. Last year and this summer, he shot from three-point range very well. But during the regular season, he has not shot that well this year. So I think that would help him out a lot if he could make 1 or 2 threes quickly. Obviously, he excels and has excelled this year mostly in the post. Has done a really good job with the little baby hook that he has, the floater that he occasionally uses. So you'll want to see him just make all of his shots early. And then for Erie, you'll also want to see Ethan Tyson get going early. Ever since he busted his nose, he's been playing exceptionally well. He now leads the Tigers in three-point percentage and has made 4 threes per game, an average of 4 threes per game for the last few games.
Yeah, you see that a lot with masked players, you know. Remember when Dwayne Wade had his mask, LeBron James with his mask, Kyrie with his mask. Some traditionally great runs made by players who busted up maybe like facial bones or their nose and just started playing better. Yeah. Must be something about it.
Maybe it's getting sense knocked into him after a bad run. Who knows?
Erie up by 11. And they're going to try to run as much clock as they can. Skyline forced the foul with 90 seconds to go here. McCrolla called for the foul. That's her second. Caitlin Patterson will go to the line. Purcell re-enters the game for Katie Hunter. Patterson misses off the back iron. It's rebounded by Hefner and jump ball called. That'll stick here.
Well, Alex, it looks like the Tigers are going to pull out their first league win, and they're also their first win in 2018.
Now, this is a big one for Coach Pfeiffer and the Tigers. Again, you talk about teams who play tough schedules are normally rewarded. That's why that Broomfield game yesterday was on the schedule. Broomfield, a 5A basketball school, And, you know, we saw it with Pueblo East, especially in football this year, as they started the season out 0-5, but they played a couple of returning playoff teams early in the non-con, and then played 2 5A or 4A schools, which boosted their RPI that much more. Playing out of classification really does boost your RPI. So even though Erie lost that Broomfield game yesterday, their RPI theoretically would have gone up. Patterson, surprising no call on the reach there. McCrolla was obviously trying to foul. Less than a minute to go in the fourth quarter. Finally a foul called. I think out of the 3 foul attempts there by Skyline, that one was the least likely to be called a foul, as McCrolla had a couple where she just kind of stuck her arm in there. But finally they get a Shayla Powers.
And McCrolla's been Skyline's best player tonight, especially defensively and running the fast break. She's only a sophomore. And she is 2 fouls away from fouling out, so it's possible that she could if they keep fouling. And they're going to call a lane violation. So Patterson will reshoot the free throw, or not reshoot the free throw.
I think they called it on Patterson.
More preview for the guys' game as McCrolla takes the ball up the court. Skyline's boys are 5-7 and 0-5 in league play. They started out the season well and then slowed down considerably, as they have not yet won a league game. Erie, 7-6 overall, 2-3 in league. So obviously the Tigers with a very winnable game on Tuesday at home against Holy Family. That's one they should have won, but they just weren't able to pull it out. And the only other team that Erie has not played is Windsor, and that will be next Tuesday.
And that'll be a tough one right there.
It will be a tough one. Windsor always has great basketball teams. And the Tiger Network will travel up to Windsor with the boys basketball team for that game. Windsor's the one school, as Purcell misses the free throw, where you don't see one of your more traditional 6-packs like what we've got going on tonight, where you've got the JVs that play at 4, girls varsity and guys C at 5:30. And then guys varsity at girls C at 7. Instead with Windsor, the varsity games will all be at 6:30. The girls will stay here and the guys will go up to Windsor. And then vice versa later on in the season when the 2 teams meet again.
Elena Duino came off of a screen pretty hard. I'm not sure if she's bleeding, but she's holding her hand on. Yeah, she's definitely bleeding. So Phillips will have to enter the game for her.
And it looks like she has a bloody nose. She's sitting on the bench right now.
She came off that screen really hard. Erie up by 10. And they're just going to hold to the end here. Surprising no call, as McCrolla has been getting off with fouls these last 30 seconds. Again, Phillips just mauled by a flock of Falcons. She'll go to the line with 3 seconds left. Erie up by 10.
And this one can go in the books. This will be Erie's first league win. So huge for their playoffs status and their RPI, respectively, which is effectively the same thing, and also huge for their morale. This is going to be their first one in 2018 as Phillips hits the first free throw, and I think that's huge. Obviously, you've got a very good team in Windsor coming up on Tuesday, and you want to be riding a winning streak into that game.
Skyline gonna heave one up. Erie pulls away towards the end and gets the win by 12. 45-33 the final score. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with the boys game. Erie picks up their first league win. They improved to 4-11. Skyline falls to 5-8, and they are now tied with Erie in league at 1-5. For Grayson Blaylock, TJ Barksdale, and Kyle Cooper on the team with us tonight, I'm Alex Ailey. Thank you for joining us.